Since we can't do it for ourselves, the government is coming in and they're going to help us do it. When has that ever worked? Yeah, did everybody have lunch today already? How was it? Was it good? I didn't eat anything yet. Yesterday, chicken was fantastic, so we had that. So thanks so much for coming. I really appreciate it. And when other people come in, they'll probably get on the gist of it as well. But what I wanted to do today, you might have seen me around with Soho, my producer. We've been walking around and interviewing people for coming to HR Southwest 2023. Welcome. Thank you, everyone, for coming. What I wanted to talk to you about today, my name is Frank Kushner. I'm a certified financial planner for about 20 years. I've been in employee benefits and a financial advisor just in general for just shy of 30 years. And my entire life, I've been dealing with one side of the ERISA plans, which is the retirement plans, the 401ks, the 403bs, that I didn't know. And none of us, I think, on my side of the equation really knew or paid attention to pharmacy benefit. We knew it was a ERISA plan, but we didn't realize what we didn't know. And what we didn't know was that this hidden plan makes up the majority of the pharmacy benefits. So I just want to take a couple of minutes and talk a little bit about, the genesis of ERISA, how it kind of came to be, why it's important, and how we've kind of gotten off track a little bit. I don't know how many of you guys remember, or have anybody here heard of a company called Studebaker Cars years ago? I don't know if you remember what they looked like, but they were pretty cool. And unfortunately, they were the reason that ERISA was invented. So what happened in the old days was they would create these defined benefit plans, and then they would borrow from their own defined benefit plan, and then they would go out of business, and then there was no benefit available for the employees. And that got to be a really, really big problem. And so what did we do? We legislated it, like we always do, legislative capture. What they did was they went out to find out like where the problems were in pricing and in commissions and all these different things, and they got rid of it and they streamlined it and they separated the employee benefit from, they made the plan sponsor responsible for that plan as a fiduciary. Let's face it, there's a lot of people, as we know now, who have started their own companies because they want to provide their own benefits, they want to do their own things. But eventually, or sometimes, people just don't want to do that. They're afraid of taking care of their own benefits and picking out a retirement plan or a health insurance plan. And what do? They outsource it and they hire an employee benefit advisor or a consultant who hopefully is guiding them the way they possibly best can. And I want to remind everybody, there's no bad guy here. It's just the way the industry evolved. The employee benefit plans on the financial side, the retirement plans, the 401ks, 403bs, because they're so directly related to the money that was donated by the employee, that they wanted to make sure that the employer didn't do anything bad, right? And so they legislated that. And now what's happening? As of just a couple of weeks ago, you'll see that Congress is getting serious about this, and they really 26-1 passed the Modernization Act, the PBM Modernization Act, and it's going further in Congress. All we hear about now is pharmacy benefit managers, they're bad guys. Well, they're not. They play an essential role. They adjudicate claims. They do pre-authorizations. They do a lot of stuff. But over time, they charge differently. And that different charging was, okay, maybe we're a little better at quality. Maybe we're going to call you all the time. Maybe we help you better with employee engagement, better outcomes. And each one of these add-ons or riders had a different fee. And guess what? Now there's new software. There's new stuff out there that helps drive all of that. It helps do that. 2006 was the last time one of the big three or a company actually came out with a new piece of software to adjudicate claims. 2006, prior to 2017, when a new company came out that's handling a lot of this. It's a new piece of software. It is a software company parading as a pharmacy benefit manager, right? And what do? They let the software do the heavy lifting. and they're working on the thinnest of margins. And what does that do for all of us? Why not just go directly to the root? Go to the people that are doing the work. Maybe it'll be more efficient. Now, the problem is, for many employers, you don't have enough employees, and it doesn't make sense to do it that direction. But once you get to that point, you should know about it. In addition, so the second thing I want to talk about is that was the genesis of ERISA. It came from all of these problems that we had on the 401k and the 403b side, right? Where is it going? We know legislation is starting to push it into a different direction. It's starting to make you focus on where the actual costs are. 2021 came around, and the Consolidated Appropriations Act gave us the power. Unfortunately, it also kind of gave us the obligation to ask for that information. Over at my booth, over at 419, come by. I've got a Word document. I can either email you or I can give you a hard copy of a questionnaire that anybody in HR can hand to their employee benefit advisor, broker, and they will tell you where all the money is being spent. Soft dollar, hard dollar, everything. And the most important problem with that, or the most important part of that is, don't you want to know where this extra money is going? In the UK, several years ago, the thing that drove all this was that hedge funds were paying soft dollar research fees to research companies that were using it for what? Golf, right? Well, ERISA plans, as a plan sponsor, you have to make sure that your plans, your plan funds are actually spent on planned research, not planned golf trips. So what they did was they basically said, we're going to separate that. And that is what legislation is pointing to, separating drug costs from adjudication, right? And the best thing, the first thing you have to do is you have to ask for that data. And everyone's talking about transparency. We've heard about Cuban and Cost Plus, right? Well, it sounds okay in concept, but that's where this whole thing started from in the first place. Cost plus something, right? Well, you should just pay for the cost, just like all the rest of us walk into 7-Eleven and you know that you're paying $1.69 for 2 Tylenol. What's magic about that? We all do it. None of us have a health plan, but we get the cost of the drug. All the rest of it is supposed to be driving that cost lower. We join a group so that they manage it so that we have lower costs. But instead, it's turned this cost plus model, which unfortunately isn't working for us. And since we can't do it for ourselves, the government is coming in and they're going to help us do it. When has that ever worked? When has that ever worked? So what I want you guys to do, really, if there's anything that I can tell you, is please come by, pick up that questionnaire so you can find out where you're paying. Because if we police ourselves and if you get in front of the curve, which is to say that you find out that you can save a lot more money right now than 3 years from now, you're going to have great job security. You're going to have a feather in your cap, and you're going to be the winner on the curve. Now, here's the one real little thing that you have to know as a human resources manager or professional. If you're saving that much money that first year, you have to find a way to recapture that. And this is how you can be an adult at the table. Have the conversation with the other C's in your practice and say, look, if I save any money, we want to recapture that. We want to be able to use that for other benefits. Maybe it's the pet insurance. That actually seems like a pretty good idea. I like that. But use it for maybe dental, upgrade your vision. Use those savings for something in HR. Otherwise, you're going to lose those revenue dollars. But that's a lot of what the waste is on. We should bring that 17% of GDP down ourselves. Let's work on that. And we can do that. We can work on that. Come by booth 419. I hope you guys got something out of it. I'll take some questions if you guys have any.